Good news everybody, we are doing a very rare double omnibus review today. With the release of Secret Wars and the Secret Wars Battleworld omnibus, we were able to grab early copies of both and I can give you my honest review of both of them together. We have to start with the Secret Wars omnibus because this is the main storyline. This one reprints New Avengers 24 to 33 and Avengers 35 to 44 and Secret Wars issue 1 to 9. All of it is written by the absolutely brilliant Jonathan Hickman, and artwork is done by a mixture of creative teams, but the main series is done by Asad Ribic. Whenever I review these big crossover stories, my number one thing that I always do is I always read the main storyline first to see if all the other stuff in the omnibus is even worth it. In my opinion, a good crossover, you should only need to read the main miniseries without having to read all the crossover stuff. But they do help each other out. So is that the case with this one here? And the answer is absolutely yes. The issues of Avengers and New Avengers that are included enhance the story so much that I highly recommend reading this as an omnibus instead of the trade paperback. Now, the storyline in this one actually started all the way back in the very first Avengers and New Avengers issue 1 of Hickman's run, and he laid the seeds really early on. So I actually recommend, if you've got the money, to read the Avengers by Hickman run, which is in trade paperback and omnibuses, and then you can go and read this. If you don't want to pay all that money, it's fine. You can read this one without reading the other ones. So what actually is Secret Wars? Well, Secret Wars is the story of Doctor Doom, the incursions of the Marvel Universe, and the end of the multiverse. Multiple universes have a big battle. One world survives. Each has a little pocket world within it, which are little battle worlds. Now, these battle worlds are different storylines that Marvel have done throughout the years, living in their own little universe, which was actually quite clever at the time, because basically it meant that Marvel's most famous storylines, they could go back and revisit and do brand new stories. And they are represented here in the Battleworld omnibus. None of this is essential reading to this, however, but it is a really fun read. And if you're a fan of your Marvel history, there is some really good stuff in here that is fun to go back and revisit after all these years. However, let's go back to this one for a second. All right, so Secret Wars. Doctor Doom has taken over. A few heroes remain, and they need to battle Doom in order to save all of the multiverses. This one actually ended the Ultimate Universe. God, it's really hard not to spoil it because this is so good. And if you've got any interest in the upcoming Secret Wars movie, I'm very sure that the beginnings of it start in this one here. I'm going to try to unwrap both of these and have a look. And then at the very end of it, I'll let you know what I think. Let's start with Secret Wars. I'm only going to be quick with this one because this is the kind of story that I'd like you all to discover on your own and not have me spoil much of it. So basically for this one, I just want to see what the reading order looks like, the extras, and just to see if the paper quality matches up to how good the storyline is. 2 covers, but you had to choose the Alex Ross one. And if you didn't choose it, you're an idiot because it is by far the best one. Really good. Look at that. I miss Alex Ross doing internal artwork. Let's get rid of the terrible case over the top and have a look at what's below it. Ah, that's really nice. Oh, I really like that artwork. Look at that. That is phenomenal. That is so nice. The only thing that I wish that they did, because if they just had writing on that spine, that would have made all the difference. That looks like Adi Gravnod artwork. Could be wrong. Correct me. Okay, let's have a look. Slipcase, we get a write-down of everyone who's done it. So Hickman, Deodato Jr., Asad Ribic, Kev Walker, Stefano Casilli, and we get a write-down of what is actually in it. In the face of disaster, various factions make their last stand. Really good. So far, impressed. Beautiful. Hickman loves his white pages. And what are we starting with? We start with Avengers 35. All right, so this is a big thumbs up. It's reprinting it in the order it should be read, not the order of the Avengers. So they haven't grouped together all the New Avengers and all the Avengers. It looks like they're actually reprinting it in the reading order, which I love. I won't spoil 8 months later. That is something that you'll have to find out for yourself. These are the New Avengers and the Avengers issues. Yeah, really good stuff. It's hard to just flip through this and not spoil it. So I'm kind of doing it in a way that's not going to give anything away. So this is the lead up issues of Avengers, New Avengers, which I really like the way it's done. None of them really spoil what happens in the main storyline. We get the history of a very, very, very important character, the Molecule Man. I will not say anything more about that other than I think he is the main character besides Doctor Doom in the whole story. Who saw that coming? Flip through there. And here we go. Oh, nice ending. Look at that. Such good artwork. Here we go. End times. Now we start the actual Secret Wars storyline. I do find it interesting, by the way, that they don't actually show the covers to indicate that this is where we're up to in the story. I guess with good storytelling, you don't need to have the change. It just kind of does it automatically. The incursions have begun. Multiple heroes are trying to save their reality. Unfortunately, none of them will have much luck at all. Oh, there we go, and this is the perfect example of the incursions happening. The two universes are kind of combining. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Doesn't matter, guys, it's over. And now, blackness. What comes next, though? Oh, how cool is that? I forgot about that. It's the end of the Marvel Universe. It's the end of the Ultimate Universe. It's all over. Until Doom is now in charge. I think this was one of my favorite things about the whole storyline, the fact that there was so many Thors. Thor kind of became the cops of the multiverse, and they worked for Doom as, you know, super cops. The Thor Corps. Sinister plays a main part as well. He is not a good guy at all. And I love the throne that that Doctor Doom has. Looks so good. This is kind of his round table. We've got Captain Britain, Doctor Strange, who is kind of his man in charge. And of course he has Valeria, who he's always had a soft spot for. Now this is a perfect example of the Battleworlds. Each kind of place has its own leader, and this is them kind of getting together. So we've got Apocalypse, Goblin Queen, Moon Knight, all fighting to rule. It's fantastic. Look, I'm actually not going to flip through it that much because I don't want to spoil this for you. You have to read it. Okay, let's flip through to the extras though. What extras do we have? By the look of it, not much. Here's the cover gallery. It was at a time when there wasn't many variants. So there's not 50,000 pages of variants. Great covers. Oh, that's a cool homage. Look at that. Really good. But by the look of things, we're not going to have that much more in the way of extras. Oh, we can find out who actually did the artwork. Augustin Alessio. Never heard of you, mate, but well done. Let's have a look. New extras. No extras. No extras. Not a single one. Well, that sucks. I thought they would have at least included the stuff that was in the director's cut for New Avengers for Secret Wars issue 1, but they didn't even do that. So big thumb downs for extras, but you know what? I actually think the storyline is good enough that you don't need to read any of the extras. I know it sounds dumb because the main storyline is amazing, but this is the one I was looking forward to the most. I don't know, I just always find it fun when we get to visit realities that we haven't seen for a little while. And the creative teams on some of these books, like I said, are absolutely brilliant. Well, that binding is really, really tight. I chose the Jimmy Chang cover of this one because I've always loved his artwork ever since the days of Young Avengers. Look at that, that's fantastic. Let's open this bad boy up. Look at that damage, well done, Marvel, well done. That's shocking. Oh, we got an Age of Apocalypse cover. on the inside. Good choice. That's really nice. But once again, could you just print something on the spine? There is only Battleworld. No way. Oh, okay, so they do list the creators there, but there's no bio, obviously, because there's so much in here. Now, I will actually try to have a look at each individual storyline in here because it is so dense. All right, what are we going to start with? We're going to start with 1602, which revisits the 1602 universe. 1852, which will be a Western. A-Force, which introduces the female Avengers team, which kind of took a bit of a spotlight in the Avengers movie. Age of Apocalypse, we already know that's going to be great. Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies, that one was really interesting. Marvel Zombies also very important to the whole main storyline of Secret Wars, but I won't spoil that one. Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, where Peter and Mary Jane remain married. Armor Wars, the Iron Man storyline. Captain Britain and the Mighty Defenders, by some Alan Davis artwork. Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps, also a concept that goes past this. Civil War, a continuation of the Civil War storyline. Deadpool's Secret Wars. I gotta be honest, I never read it. And E for Extinction, which is the Cassandra Nova storyline. Let's have a look. So this is really nice artwork. Who does this one? Stephanie Hans does the internal work for this. Whoa, I don't think Remy knew that. Stephanie Hans, if you're watching, you are one of the best artists on the planet, and this looks incredible. Love the story, by the way. If you're not a fan of, you've never read the 1602 universe stuff, give it a go because the main storyline is excellent, and this one really did a good job of like expanding the storyline. That is really nice stuff.
Looks like dye artwork.
It does look like dye artwork. All right, so let's have a look. 1872. There we go. This was just a Western comic. I liked it because they don't do Westerns that often. So it's nice to actually see just a Western taking place. Of course, you can see some, I'm pretty sure that that is Kingpin. The other thing that I should point out about the Secret Wars stuff is that you'll get the same character many times because there's multiple versions of them from all the different realities. So that is Carol Corps? No, that's A-Force, sorry. A-Force. It's kind of like their version of Themyscira where all the female heroes live on their own little planet. Loved that storyline, by the way. Really, really good. Really good artwork again. Really good creative team again. This one is the Marvel Zombies vs. Age of Ultron, is it? No, I think we're still in the same universe. The only reason that I was confused is that the zombies appear in multiple different storylines. And you'll find out why when you read the main one. Okay, next one is Age of Apocalypse. Look at that. The 90s are back, baby. Fantastic artwork. Really captured the vibe of the original storyline. Not much to say because it just looks that good. All right, now let's jump to Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies. That's Mike Deodato artwork, I believe. It was okay. Marvel Zombies is a good storyline. Age of Ultron is a bit sucky, but together, it was all right. One of the weak storylines in the book, though. Let's jump forward. I don't really care. What's that one? That is Andy Kubert artwork. Ah, Renew Your Vows. This was amazing. Peter and MJ are still married, running their little family while trying to survive with him being Spider-Man and his daughter growing up. Really, really good stuff. Awesome stuff, some might say. And I just want to point out again how good the creative teams were. Like, for a storyline that is essentially filler, they didn't need to get the Cubits on it, or Alan Davis, or Stephanie Hans. The Iron Man story, it was alright. I'm just going to flip through it because Armor Wars wasn't that good. Watch all the old people from the 80s come back at me. And you can just tell from the artwork. Okay, here we go. Wait, is this the Alan Davis stuff? Yeah, Captain Britain, the Mighty Defenders. Look, I can't comment on this much. I did read it. I can't remember what storyline they try to recapture. That's what makes this one a bit difficult for me to review. Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps. Lionel Francis Yu artwork? What's this? Oh, the Civil War storyline, that's right. The continuation of what happened in Civil War if different sides won. Bit of a what if, that one. That is really cool. What is that? Kingpin and Dr. Octopus, it looks like? Yeah, it is. That's awesome. Civil War. I just realized there's a storyline in here that I'm worried isn't in here. Deadpool Secret Wars. I don't know, not much of a Deadpool guy. Just gonna flip through though. It's Deadpool. If you like Deadpool, you know what you're in for. And E for Extinction. The Grant Morrison storyline continues. Really good artwork on that one too. Who does that artwork? It's very unique. Yeah, very good. However, good amount of extras. You know what though? This actually isn't complete. There are a couple storylines that I don't think that they included. They didn't include the Extinction Agenda. They didn't include the one written by Garth Ennis. So there are a couple things missing from this, which is quite disappointing. But you know what? The stuff that's in here is actually pretty good. So thumbs up from me. We are back. We've had a good flip through both of these and they are clear winners. Sure, there aren't that many extras that aren't actually included in the original issues when they came out, but that's fine. Who has the original copies? It's all good. The Secret Wars is a must have. I can't recommend it enough. Not only if you've never read it, but even if you've read it to see them reprint it all in the order that it should be read, brilliant. Battleworld, I'm only going to recommend if you really want to revisit the stuff that you wanted to read, because I loved it. But if you have no idea what an Extinction Agenda is, or if you've got no idea what Ultron or Marvel Zombies is, you might be a bit lost in it, to be honest. I think it's a really good snapshot of the main stories Marvel have done throughout the years, but that would be my only caveat to buying this one. You can get both of them, and it will make a really good collection on your bookcase there, and everyone's happy. But no, I recommend it. This one is $100 US, so it's about $180 Australian at the moment, and this is $150, which makes it about $250. It's a lot thicker and it's a lot more substance to it, so you can definitely see where that extra value goes to. And I think you'll actually really love it. So both of them get a massive thumbs up from me.